So our favorite modern-day poet, Oliver Anthony, has released a new album. Let's talk about it on Azimuth Podcast. I'm Barrett McNabb, and with me is my wife, Kimberly McNabb. So on March 31st of 2024, Easter, Oliver Anthony released Hymnal of a Troubled Man's Mind. And we're going to go ahead and listen and react to one of the songs on the album called Hell on Earth. So let's get started.
Son, do you know where you're gonna go? Son, when you die, I've been that sad 100,000 times. Oh, I won't sure, but I have skated around, and I found most people die and go to hell before they ever hit the ground.
Wow. Already we're getting into it.
Yes. So they ask where he's going to go when he dies.
Right.
I've been asked about 100,000 times. So one of my first church memories, it was rural Georgia, late 80s, and it was very much fire, brimstone, go to hell, yelling in your face.
A lot of Old Testament.
Yes, Old Testament type of preaching. And I feel like today we've kind of swung the pendulum a bit much in the opposite way. Everything's love thy neighbor, turn the other cheek, be nice, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? Some people need to be called out. Otherwise, how are they going to learn?
Right.
So that's the first thing triggered in my mind. And then the last line of that verse was people die and go to hell before they ever hit the ground. And to me, that says that they're dead emotionally, spiritually, and they're just a husk walking around.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think when I read into this, I've been asked 100,000 times. That means that, and this is probably not Oliver Anthony himself that he's singing about. He's probably talking about the general human being that's walking around right now. But if they have not found meaning and purpose in their life, they've already died. So they've died on the inside, and so they haven't gotten a chance to physically pass away, but they've already given up. They've already died. They're already doing sin, and they, they're not going into heaven before they died. Now, we all know that if you accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, that you get admitted into the kingdom of heaven. So
Yes.
there's that,
and that is a purpose,
right,
to live for him. Now, which way you go about it, you may not have figured it out yet, but you do have a purpose.
Absolutely. So let's keep going. Already, this is good stuff.
Because they wake up early, they still run late. Curse every man, woman, and child on the interstate. Oh, and you clock in till you clock out, and you drive back home. Son, how you gonna find a paradise in the sky if you ain't found the one you're on?
Again, these are just poetic lyrics, and obviously he's singing from the heart, like he always does, which is why we always love Oliver Anthony's music. But they wake up every day and they're still running late. It's like they can't catch up.
Right. I think there are a couple ways to think that we can feel like we're missing out on the life we want to lead, so we can't catch up, or financially we can't catch up. And, wake up early, still running late, that kind of indicates to me that there's time wasted. So maybe time wasted doing things that aren't important.
That's a good point.
And then it says, curse every man, woman, and child on the interstate. So to me, that's like you hate everybody around you. And sometimes that can feel like the world we live in.
I can relate because sometimes I feel that way myself, and I catch myself and do a course correction, but I can empathize.
Well, in Houston traffic, it's hard
Right.
not to.
Right, exactly.
But then he says you clock in, you clock out, you drive back home. But the glaring thing for me is there's nothing in between the clocking in and clocking out. So therefore, it doesn't have any value, whatever it is you're doing in between those hours. So again, no purpose.
No meaning. Yeah. No, absolutely. And finding, God's paradise. So the line of how are you going to find a paradise in the sky if you ain't found the one you're on? That's to me, I read that as you need to find your place and purpose on earth in order to have a meaningful life so that you can be admitted into the paradise, in heaven. And, it's kind of interesting that, if you haven't found purpose, direction, and motivation and meaning in your life, it can become very, filled with despair.
Exactly. Also, you haven't found, like, paradise isn't just like some jubilant place necessarily. It's also a place that brings you peace,
Right.
Makes you feel calm. And so, the place that, the remote rural areas that he talks about in many of his songs do bring him peace. And so I think that's also what he's referring to as in paradise. You haven't found a place on earth that brings you peace.
Absolutely. Let's keep going.
I wasn't born in West Virginia, but that's damn sure where I'll die. You can put my ashes in the creek and let me float on by. All I need is an acre and a half on a church gravel road, a two-room shack and a wood-burning stove. I'll sit and watch that Tug Fork flow till the day that the good Lord calls me home.
So, here he is. He's talking about what his paradise is. Mm-hmm. And his paradise is an acre and a half of land. Clearly his dogs. We're so glad to have the dogs back.
Yes.
His family, his faith in God, and, not much. It's not material. It's not
Right.
material.
It brings him peace.
It brings him peace. And I'll be honest, Kimberly's smarter than I. I had to look up what Tug Fork is, and that's a river.
Well, if you do the Hatfield McCoy Marathon in West Virginia, that's right there.
Right. But I had to look that up, and she knew it off the top of her head. But it's a simple life. There's no materialistic items that he's really talking about, and that's him finding his paradise.
Yep.
So I mean, he's happy, he's fulfilled. We're all happy for him, and so let's keep going.
I'm tired of waking up early, still running late, cursing every man, woman, and child on the interstate. Oh, and you clock in till you clock out and you drag back home. Son, how you gonna find the paradise in the sky if you ain't found the one you're on? Son, do you know where you're gonna go? Son, when you die.
I'm so glad he's back. I'm so glad he's back. The album, we're doing a number of songs from the album, and we just really liked this one because we have the dogs back. But
Well, he's been touring.
yeah, absolutely. But this looking at, I think he's talking about other people. honestly.
Well, yeah.
Because he's found his paradise. And so he's talking about other people having not found theirs,
What he sees in society.
but he sees in society. And I think that he gives hope to people to show that there is a path forward into salvation. And I'm just really glad he's back.
Yeah. Well, and while on tour, he's gotten on to the venue admin people or whoever's in charge for some of their ticket prices. He's
Right.
like, no, I want everyone to come in and hear my story and what I have to say. And, his reflections on society is why he's resonating with so many people.
No, I couldn't agree more. Well, we saw this and we wanted to bring it to you. And thank you for watching Azimuth Podcast. Please stay tuned after these messages.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy our show with all the stories we share, we would love your support.
And it's as easy as clicking that subscribe or follow button. This will ensure you never miss an episode and keeps us bringing you these important stories. Your support makes a huge difference. Thank you so much for being part of our podcast family.
Thanks, and keep tuning in.